We now return to Let's Play Zeus. So I've had to think, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and, for the sake of this, just go ahead and do the requirements to get rid of Hector, and just kind of set this up properly. The reasoning there, I guess, is just because I could just basically exit now and not even try to do anything with this. I could have just slammed down a bunch of houses, bought my armor to make this, and then we could have gone back into Larissa, and we would have had a fully functioning everything. And this whole thing we could have just pretended didn't happen. But I think I'm going to try and actually make this a city. So I've had a think about how I want to do this. Originally I was thinking we'd sort of wipe this out, move the palace up here, and just have a road flanked by 6 houses, which would have been enough, 6 elite houses, raised to the 2nd level, and that would have been enough to give me 3 full companies of hoplites, summoning Achilles, and then these 2 islands down here I would have developed as worker islands. I still think that would potentially turn into something aesthetically pleasing, but I feel like that's going to be a lot more infrastructure because I would basically have to make each island fully functional on its own. It could supply its own urchin on each side, and that's fine. We'd have to go a bit of a long way to get to fleece and that sort of thing. So what I'm actually going to do instead, I have another half of the city here, and I only have to come up with 6 different spots for these. Now these do need high appeal in order to get to a much better evolution. But I think if I do maybe 4 on the inside and 2 on the back side, I can surround them with enough beautification structures and enough culture buildings, because that's really all that has to be over here, that we can maybe do this. I can bridge this with the theater as originally planned, and maybe over here instead of an agora I can put something like a podium, because that's another target building, and just kind of go that way with it. If I keep only destination buildings on this side and put the production buildings on this side, that does limit this because only a certain amount of this is going to get walked on. But these guys don't necessarily need to evolve very high to get the infrastructure going. What are we at right now? 29 people? I mean, basically fleece at this point, and now I can produce my own. I can go that high. I think that'll be a pretty good production level to get these guys up to where they need to be. So let's go ahead and put down some of these. Is it even going to let me? Is it high enough beautification? Nope, it's not. I need to raise the appeal of that. Okay, so we'll hold off on that, but that's the general idea. So I'm going to actually do a little bit of cleaning up, because we're going to need a few more houses than I've got in here, and I could actually wipe this out to put another one here. I'll wait for that, but I am going to move the infirmary because that's taking up a huge chunk of usable space, and I can maximize it a little bit by cornering it, like so. And then we should be able to fit in several houses there and or a structure, and then that also leaves it here. Now, just for aesthetics, I'm going to try and not have the big... See, the thing about that, though, is that these take up 3, which throws off the count if I make it even. I would like to stagger it a little bit so they're not right next to each other, but that might not be possible. Especially if I put a big old theater right here. I'd get like 1, maybe 2, 3 here if I cornered it on this side, the infirmary on this side, rather than that side, which would then make this uneven, so then it would fit with this in a house. Okay, that settles that. So it goes here instead. Although, I mean, that does put a building right there, but I mean, I'm going to have to make that decision at one point or another anyway, so here we go. In fact, we can probably just put a gymnasium right there. That would fit, right? Because it'd sort of be like the healthy, doctor prescribes exercise, you just go next door. I like that idea. Especially if I'm going to... Now, I don't think the 2nd level of elites require athletes, so we might be able to get away with not having this here. But it can't go there anyway because I need to supply a special agora. These guys are going to require armor. I could put down 2 of these and just put a building down, but if I want to put down one of these grand agoras, then it would fit right here if I make a road, but in order to make that road, this is in the way. So let's begin with that. we'll go ahead and put in another warehouse. And, you know, really, I could maybe put it right here in this corner. This is not a suitable place for Achilles. This is going to be some industrial distribution center area to the plateau. It's not very heroic of a location. However, this spot right here is pretty good. So we'll see what I've got for room. Drag a hidden road in the back or something, beautify it, make it look nice, or put it over here, depending on what we got. But I'm going to move him. I mean, he'd probably even fit right there. In fact, I don't have any plans for this spot. So maybe we'll put him right there, looking off towards, not Hector, but he's over there. Okay, so we got a little bit of a plan right now. Let's begin by doing this. I mean, should it go here? This is still a little bit close to the residentials, but putting it here leaves a strange gap, which I could kind of overcome, I suppose. Because I don't really... Okay, whatever, just put it right here. We need to get some of that, we need to get some of that. And shall I go... if I'm going to be distributing to these others, I'll also need to get armor, just a little bit, and I'm sure they're going to need wine. Now this is going to require a little bit more on the infrastructure because I'm going to have to deal with the fact that I'm going to need to import a lot of stuff. So I think that means we're going to be down to 8 and 8. No, because that's 12 and 12. So I guess that adds up to 32. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. That's pretty sizable for the population. I don't imagine that'll grow, and it's not like we don't have expansion room. Anyway, so let's maybe think about sealing this off with beautification, because this is going to be a really ugly area. But we need to also come here and empty this stuff first. Yeah. So we'll get things going. We'll get things moving here. Okay, and everyone's gone home. So now we can get rid of you. Nemean Games. And we'll bring down the second road, which will latch on here. So yeah, that's okay. Because then we can put a roadblock here, because he does not need to go up this road. I don't plan to put anything there. So now we'll put in a Grand Agora. And if we really need to do something with this, we can put like a gazebo here. How about we do something... Oh, put a gazebo there and we'll just put a couple parks. And this still leaves me an offshoot so that I can build a little spot for Achilles right out of town. And then we can do whatever over here. Maybe just for purposes of, I don't know, role-playing and the fact that we need defense, I could block this off with a wall and 2 towers. Something to think about for later. So that's going to require a removal of this and that. So here's the thing. Having it back this far means that I'm not so sure about my walker situation at the moment.
I'm Dionysus, god of the vine.
Let's see where he goes.
And fruits of the vine will
Okay,
burst
so not very far. So if I put the inspector maybe in this corner, but see, he could wander down this way and then I'm in trouble. He might wander back this way, but I think this stepwise is going to be harder. Alternatively, I could put one here, block it off so he has to go this way. Let's do that just to kind of see how far that goes. As soon as you get on the other side, well, you're going home anyway. I'm just curious to see how far he'll actually walk. That does make this a little bit more difficult if I want a special road going to Achilles. Let's speed this up. Okay, good. He does get past the turning point, or the point of no return, where he will have to return via the other side. That's good. Still not sold on this, but we'll work with it. So let's go ahead, since we're on this kick, let's finish up the... You screwed everything up. Okay, that and then that, and then we finish it off like that. Cool. The Agora dude. So the Grand Agora does not, in fact, produce... How did you get over there? So he must have got over here, thought it was actually shorter to come this way to it? That's weird. Let's watch that again. Weird. He was definitely walking on this side, right? I didn't just imagine that. How did he get over here? Because I thought he came out of this Agora, but no, definitely not.
My cart is too light. It's time to load it up again with more goods.
Well, at least we're maintaining the food supply. That's pretty good. Alright, so Hector seems to be just doing his thing over here. That's fine. We are completely at ease there. We can just continue doing our thing. So what is my thing? Right now, we've got enough people, but we're going to need more if we need to expand. What do we need to expand to? I have got fleece coming in. I need fleece going out. So let's talk about some trade, because this is sort of sitting here for no reason. We can do Larissa. Obviously, we'll want to do Larissa. And Phoenicia. Okay, right. My double whammy over here. So let's do... that's going to require more people. Let's think about that before we go putting it down. We can put one down, but we're going to need another one. They need water. Oh my. Oh my. I did not... boy, that does create a little bit of a thing there, doesn't it? So if I utilize this, I may get myself into trouble. Probably don't want to put something here, because then it could just get them bouncing back and forth between that. Alternatively, there's another thing here where I can just risk removing these roadblocks and see if these guys will wander all over the place. First thing I can do, actually, to free up some people is get rid of that. High unemployment is now a problem. Okay, well, I think I know the solution for that. Let's kick down one for Larissa. Yeah, it won't fit there. So we'll do this. And before I get too far on that thought, let's do an inspector. The inspector probably would benefit me more to have him out there at the end of this. I'm going to want some industry right up in here, especially when we get to armor production. So for right now, see, I just there. I just don't want so many roadblocks all over the place because they look kind of bad. But okay, so we'll be selling this, but just 36. Or let's slow roll that, because we do need to maintain here. Oh, now you need employees. God, never satisfied. Well, that's okay, because now we can actually add them in. So if I do 1, 2, 3, that's going to leave me a big gap there. A gap that cannot be fulfilled by... Okay. See, this is where this symmetry is now maybe not so functional for me. Because in order to ensure that I can have some buildings over here... Should I risk it? Should I really just wipe these out and see if maybe this works? If that's the case, all of these buildings are going to have to be sort of central to the middle so that they go one way or the other. It's kind of a risk I don't think I'm prepared to take, to be honest. Let's go ahead and do, say, Corinthian columns. Right there. And I can build a house here because I'd planned to. So that should be a few people. This obviously needs to be better used. We'll go ahead and get rid of those.
I am Athena. Worship me, and a sacred grove will grace your...
And we'll just kind of fill in park here. And that's going to do weird things, but they need water. I don't need to worry about water here because the elite housing provide their own, don't they? They've got wells, I think. So we'll put a well here. Ooh, I could just put it with... You know what? Get out of there. There we go. We'll have it internal. That'll work just fine. Got 32 people coming. Keeping this pretty minimal compared to previous playthroughs as far as excessive amount of unemployment goes. Okay, so we got plenty of food. That is not an issue.
I'm Dionysus, god of the vine.
Can we begin getting these
And fruits
in?
of the vine will burst forth.
The answer is yes. Not there, though. So out here is where we're going to have to start thinking. And the first thought is perhaps let's put this here. Let me, before I do that, find out where my theater is going. The only reason I'm stuck on the theater idea is because it's a destination building and it bridges. So to that end, do I want to give more room to... Well, so if I do this, I can put a trophy down and a building up there. I think I'll have enough room though, because... So maybe instead of destination buildings, I should actually have them here. Yeah, I should have the destination buildings over here, because we'll need someone to constantly be going around. But if I have all these houses effectively standing right here, then when they produce, they should just hit all of them on their way to whatever destination, unless they shortcut it here, and then in which case these guys don't. Oh. They need access to culture. Okay, let me pause for a minute before I completely devolve my way out of this idea. Let's do food down here. Okay. So let's think about a happiness monument. Maybe here then? Oh, that's not. I can't do that. I thought I had more room there. 1, 2, and then 3. So I can't go side by side because then that one won't touch. So we'll end up putting something else there. That's alright. Let's just do that. So we'll have this thing hanging on by the skin of his teeth, just by the 1, because the 2, yeah, you can't really fit anything in there. I could beautify it, but there's no point in doing that. And I do, if I'm still going to do this idea, I still do have to maintain something for Achilles. And this is big enough that it would actually probably... No, it won't. Never mind. Should I do this on this side and just be done with it? I'm just really nervous about the walkabouts, because I don't really know. No, because the elite housing need the culture, different types of culture, more than the working houses. A gymnasium will be enough to get to where I need them to be. So let's do just a full over here theater. We'll take this and then bring it up. That's not a good idea either, though. That gives them reason to walk over here. Erg. So maybe instead, kind of in between houses? I'd said I was going to put Achilles here anyway, though, didn't I? Never mind. Just never mind. So we'll do something like that. It doesn't really matter then if we got this little thing here. And we'll go ahead and put in a tax office because, hey, you're already here. So now let's go. And is that enough appeal? Just barely. To... Yes, it is. Awesome. So let me see how the tax walker walks. He doesn't walk very far. He didn't like that walk at all. That's a conundrum. Well, okay, maybe not so bad. Thank you, Athena. So he's taking either or. Unexpected, though, really, to be honest. I was expecting at least when he got to here, he'd be enough to go this way. So that's a thing. That's actually really interesting. But whatever. Okay, so it works. We have some elite housing currently. They are doing nothing except providing a little bit of tax revenue. Speaking of, let's make sure we're making money. Barely, but yes. Okay, so I think it's time then that we expand upon the options for this place. They need culture. Let's begin by putting down gymnasium. So do I want columns behind there? I hate using columns as a crutch and as a fence, but they're also highly effective. So maybe we'll put a flower garden in here. That leaves me with, say, just another park along this. Yeah, that looks alright. And then maybe I can put a nice big trophy monument, yes, monument right here to kind of completely block off whatever negative is coming out of this. I could also take care of this by doing a thing. But I think right now we've hit a point where we're good on the incoming employees. 160. Yeah, I think that'll do. Let's speed this up. Watch them come in. Somebody's not happy. Oh my god. These guys, what do you have no problem with? Water. The water walker is not walking the water that far. Why? Where are you going? Population milestone 500. Okay, this is so clearly the inspectors have longer walking range than water carrier, but it must also mean that the yeah, strangely it's not getting there. So if I replace one of these and maybe put it in a corner instead, we could maybe get there. Hygiene though, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, so but doesn't make it to that one. Or that one? Weird. Yeah, the walker doesn't make it far enough to go. Oh, that's annoying. That's actually really annoying. Okay, well how about let's knock you out, put you there, and see if that makes a difference. Let's look for water. Oh my god, would you stop? Oh, sorry. I've been clicking through these messages and just ignoring them. You know what? We don't have any wine, so you can whine all you want. This one now is suffering. We're just not going to be able to do it. What if I put it in the middle? Pause. If I put it maybe somewhere in the middle, might make it... Might. Doubtful. I still feel like this is not enough. Strangely, this is not going to work. So we'll take you in. We'll delete that. And come back in here. I want this to work, but something tells me it's not going... Would you just... Yeah, now this one is not enough. How did it... It's only getting to the corner. Like, this whole back row is now not getting enough.
I am Demeter.
Good grief. This sucks. You know what? One person without water will turn this into something else. In fact, would you... Thank you. We'll get you there, and then we'll do... Where's that tax office? Kind of makes more sense to have it directly across from this anyway, right? Does not solve my healthcare crisis, but still doesn't get to this guy. So actually, this would be the one. This is the one that does not. And strangely, that one doesn't? Go away!
Worship me and the supplies of the forge.
Okay, that one does. So the tax collector actually needs to be here. Okay. Fuck. You know, I don't know. Go away! There is not a way to make those messages become less, right? You can control how you receive them by selecting messages from the option menu. Full, off, condensed, diplomatic. You know, let's just condense them all. See what that does for me. Tributes. Well, I mean, tributes are kind of nice to know. If condensed is too much, then we'll just turn them off, because I don't really care for this mission. Okay, I think everybody's satisfied there now. Problem just being these people who now...
Worship me, the feared Hades, and your city will glisten in the sun.
Somehow these two are out of range. I thought we only had an issue with one before. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? Letting a few have plague issues. They don't really... Oh my god, this is becoming far more of a hassle than I'd expected.
Worship me, and a sacred grove will grace your city.
This is far more of a hassle than I expected. But anyway, let's turn this down, because we've got 70 damn people waiting for jobs. What is your issue now? Water isn't reaching them. How the frick does this happen? Okay, so clearly we've got an issue with this layout that I'm going to have to rethink, because this isn't working. So maybe we'll revisit that idea of just opening all of this and sharing. You know, put a water carrier here, put a water carrier here, and hope that they walk around and meet each other at some point. It's a little dangerous, but... unless I'm doing double in the own single housing block, that doesn't, I mean, that's too much for me. So, alright, well, I'm going to end this one here. Think about it, and I will see you next time.